Today, I'm going to make pineapple zucchini bread. Now, usually you would make zucchini pineapple bread, but about a year and a half ago, when we brought in all of our zucchini, I had the brilliant idea of freezing it into, bags that had 2 cups each. The problem is that when I went to defrost it, it kind of reduced, and so I only had 1 cup of zucchini. And this recipe originally calls for 2 cups of zucchini and 1 cup of crushed pineapple. So I'm going to reverse it, and we're going to see how it comes out. So I've already started with, and this is an easy recipe. You don't need a mixer or anything like that. You basically need a bowl. It's like a dump bread or, like those dump cakes. You just throw everything and you mix it up and you move on. So in my bowl here, I have my 3 cups of flour and my 2 cups of sugar. Okay. I guess you could use brown sugar if you want. I mean, I substitute white and brown sugar all the time. Sometimes I mix it up. It depends on what I have in the house and what kind of a mood I'm in. I don't really find that it makes much of a difference. And now I'm going to add 4.5 teaspoons of baking powder, which seems like a lot, and then 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So that's going to go in there like that. The next thing we want to do is add a cup of oil. Oh, well, you know what? Let's do the eggs first. You want to do 3 eggs. So let's dump our eggs, boom, in there. Mix that up a little bit. All right. Now, you're supposed to add oil. They want you to add vegetable oil. But all I have in the house is olive oil because that's all we use, because I'm not a big fan of the nut oils and canola oil and all that stuff. So we are going to do a cup, and I think I have a cup in here. If not, I have a bunch more sitting around somewhere. Come on, girl. I probably should have poured this ahead of time. You wouldn't have to sit here and watch me. You know what? Oh, almost. All right. Give me a second. I'm going to get the rest of it. Like I was saying, I don't care about using olive oil because I've made olive oil cake. And if you've ever had olive oil cake, it's really, really good. And if you haven't, you should try it. It's really, really simple. It's not like a super sweet desserty cake. It's good for after dinner, for coffee, tea, stuff like that. I am probably going to have to switch to a spoon at some point. It was probably not a good idea to be using this for the whole thing. So give me another minute. It's better. I got my spoon now. I cleaned out my whisk. That was just silly. So anyway, so it's a little stiff right now. I'm going to add my, this is 2 cups of crushed pineapple. It was canned in juice, not syrup. Make sure that you drain it because there's a lot of liquid in there. And then I have a cup of shredded zucchini, and this had been frozen, and like I said, when I put it in the bag it was 2 cups, but then once I defrosted it and drained it, it was 1. Hence we're reversing it. So I mean, there's a little juice in there. It doesn't have to be like bone dry or anything like that. You want some moisture in your cake. All right, so we're going to mix this up a little bit, and it'll loosen up as you go because you have all that liquid from the pineapple and the zucchini. And then, what's next? Oh, last but not least, you want your vanilla. So I'm, of course, using my vanilla that I made. This is really just a really high-proof alcohol. You want to use like a vodka or Everclear. And then some, if I can open it, some vanilla beans. And what happens is, this has been going for a while. This is probably a year or so old. And I leave it in my cabinet, and every time I open my cabinet, I just give it a good shake, to keep it going. So how much is in here? We need 2 teaspoons of vanilla because you know what? Who the heck doesn't like vanilla? All right. So once that's mixed up, we are going to divide this into our loaf pans. You should get 2. All right, and let's see. All right, let me get this done. Let me get my pans out, and then we'll fill her up. All right, so I have my 2 loaf pans here, and I have lined them with parchment paper because there's a lot of sugar in this, And I know it's going to stick. And you know what? I never used to do that. I used to just grease them up. But honestly, I have found that doing the parchment paper thing just makes life so much easier. And I really wish I would have done it for years and years and years. Now, I do like to weigh my stuff to make sure I have it the same amount and everything. I'm really particular like that. It's even when I do my cookies, I'll roll them out and make sure my cookies are all 15 grams each so that they all bake exactly the same. I don't know why I do that, but it's just a thing. So let's see, I got this on here. Come on, girls. All right, so we're at 0. I like to do grams. I have no idea how much we're gonna have in here. So let's just dump this in. We'll do half, give or take. It smells really good too. Now, I've never done this with more pineapple than zucchini, so I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen here. So how many grams do I got on that? 685. I'm going to try to turn it. Woo! Let me turn this around so I can see it, because then we won't have any more accents like that. Okay, so let's see. That was 685. Remember, you're going to have to zero it out because, you know, your parchment paper might weigh a little more in one than in the other. 635. So that is, you know, and it's always about the same. So what's that? That's 810. Sorry about that. I didn't even realize you couldn't see me. That was silly. Now let's see. That needs, wait, I think I can get, oh, perfect. 810. Yay. All right. Okay, shake them out. These, and here we go. Can you see that? Now, this is not going to be an incredibly sweet bread, just like that olive oil cake. I mean, it may be sweeter than usual because I did use more pineapple than zucchini. But I'm going to put these in the oven at 325 for an hour, and then after an hour I'm going to check them and we'll do the usual, put a steak knife in or a stick or whatever, and if it comes out clean, they're done. If not, I'll put them in there for 5 more minutes at a time. If I see that the outsides are starting to like burn, then what I'll do is I may, if it's been in there for like an hour and a half and it's still not done, which I don't suspect is going to happen, but when that does happen, I will just turn the oven off completely and just let them sit in there for a while and kind of let them cool down, because that residual heat will keep it going, and then I don't have to worry about the outside burning. That's the same thing I do with pound cake. I have a pound cake recipe that, God, it goes in the oven forever. And then the instructions even say to turn the oven off and let it just sit in there for an hour. So we're going to pop this in the oven for, like I said, about an hour or so, and when they're all done, we'll turn them out and we'll see what they look like. So I had to go out for a few hours. This bread's actually been cooling for, gosh, probably 4 hours, maybe 5. I had to run out to the store. I had to run some errands. I ended up leaving this in the oven at 325 for an hour and 10 minutes. So let us take her out and see what it looks like. I'm very excited. And see, I'm going to tell you, do it with the parchment paper. Look at that. It's out of here. All right, so she feels nice and moist. Nothing's burned. So let's see what she looks like on the inside. And there we go. Isn't that pretty? Oh, and it smells so good. I'm going to have a little piece. Pineapple zucchini bread. Another great idea to use up all that zucchini that you get in your garden every single summer.